We're on the air. Hello, everybody. Here we are again. It's been a couple weeks, and this is Sarah Coolidge reporting to you with CEOSpaceWest.com. I am hanging out with you guys tonight, and I've invited all the grads and all the presidents and all of other people that are interested in CEO Space, and we're going to have a great hangout tonight because we have a special guest. So I just want to say welcome. I hope you're here. I hope you found us. For the beginning part of our hangout, we are only going to be talking, Jayne and I, and then later on I will post the links so that you can join in with questions if you have some. So if you're just watching, that's all you should be doing right now. And for those of you who are wondering about Hangouts a little bit, we're going to explain it as we go along because we all know that it's new for everyone. And what's really cool about this is because we're live and on the air, it's all being recorded and on a YouTube when we're done. So we'll have a recording, a video, and we can go back and look at it later. So the first thing that I always want to remind you guys of when we get together on a Hangout is that we have not signed one of these. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but every time we get together, I just got to remind you that when we're together in real life, when we're at a forum or at a regular CEO Space Club meeting, we all sign a non-disclosure agreement. And what that means is that anybody who shares ideas or things about maybe their invention or their new business that might be considered secret, it's safe because everyone that has attended has signed a non-disclosure agreement. Right now, of course, we're on the air, which means no one has signed one. We don't know for sure who is watching. They could be somebody, you know, in China watching who wants to steal your idea if you give them too much detail. So please keep this in mind while we're talking tonight. If you have a chance to snap and share some ideas, something you're interested in, remember that nobody has signed one of those. So be careful about what you're saying, and we can always find ways to connect people afterwards. If you really want to get some information about someone that you've heard speak, contact me. We'll make sure that you hook up. Okay, so don't forget. So, what is CEO Space? CEO Space is a business organization that is dedicated to helping people of all size and shape businesses grow and expand their businesses in any way that they're wanting to do so. It's an organization that supports business growth. And we have private membership. We have been around for over 20 years. And what we do, in a very small nutshell, is we bring entrepreneurs and investors and trainers together to help grow businesses. And those of you who are on the call are probably either CEO Space grads and members already, or perhaps you've been spending time with me and getting to know a little bit about CEO Space and wanting to find out some more about it. So we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but just a quick overview of CEO Space West, which is my club organization. We are located out in Lake Tahoe area of California, and that also includes Reno, Nevada. So basically Western Nevada and Northeast California, I guess is what you would call it. And we have 4 meetings a month. We have 2 each month that are hangouts like this, live on air, and then we have 2 more that are live in person. So coming up next week, we're actually having 2 live meetings, and that's just because this month, yay, we're going to the forum. In June, which is now June, we have our Business Growth Conference. So I am going to be out of town for 10 days, and that means in order to see everybody for a local live event, I have to have 2 events next week. So next Monday, yes, next Monday we're meeting at the Swill Coffee and Wine Bar in Reno. It's on Lakeside Court, and for those of you who are not getting an invitation or want to know more, you can certainly contact me afterwards. Swill Coffee and Wine, Lakeside Court, from 4 to 6 p.m. on Monday, and then on Wednesday we're going to be meeting in Truckee at Zanos. So this is our regular meeting spot in Truckee, and that meeting is at 5:30. So we've got 2 meetings next week that you can come and hook up with us. Neither one of them are that far apart, maybe, what, 45-minute drive. So theoretically, you could go to 2 meetings next week if you wanted to, but certainly don't miss them. There'll be one that's right for you. If you're living in Reno, come to Swill. If you live near Lake Tahoe and Truckee, come to Zanos. And there will also probably be another hangout coming up shortly, and I'll let you know more about that later. So A couple other things that I want to just go over with you about Hangouts in general. When you get into the Hangout, you're going to be able to see a chat box and do some things with settings if you want to. For the most part, don't be shy. When you come in, just go for it. It may be that you're going to have audio trouble. It may be that you're going to have video trouble. I certainly had my share earlier tonight when I was, where did I put them? Setting up with Jayne. Microphone wasn't working, so I had these charming things on for a little while and couldn't make them work either. Thank God I don't need to make them work, but it's all live, it's all crazy, and we're all just doing the best we can. If I disappear on you, it's because something's going on with my browser or my computer. If you can all still hear each other, just keep talking. I'll come back, and same for me. If you disappear on me, we're going to keep going anyway. Okay. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to one of my best buddies from CEO Space. She's a graduate from, well, she'll probably tell us, but I'm thinking it was July last year, might have been her first forum, maybe May last year. And since then, she's been coming regularly. She's such a ball to work with and talk to. And her name is Jayne Sanders. And what Jayne does is an amazing scientific analysis of your hand. And when she goes through what she finds on your hand, she can give you some guidance and some tips onto exactly what you should be doing if you're not quite clear. And I know that I'm not explaining it nearly as well as Jayne will, but I'm thrilled to introduce her, that she's a guest for us tonight. And I want to let you guys know she's not feeling great. So she may be telling you something like, I could do this a little better at another time. Hopefully she'll feel great just getting all our good energy, but I don't want her to feel badly about it. I want you guys to send her fabulous good vibes, and however this goes tonight is however it's meant to go. It's all practice, it's all fun, and we're not going to worry about it. So with that, Jayne, would you like to say a word or two?
A word or two.
A word or two. There she is.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I would not tell. I mean, this is so unusual for me not to feel good. It's very rare. So, but I will do fine for this call because I'm really excited about it, and I love CEO Space, and I love you. So, you know, we're pros.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just push through it. Yeah.
So, right, was it July last year or was it May? It seems to me it was summertime.
It was October.
October? Holy cow. Well, it's always summertime in Anderson.
In Las Vegas, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, wow. Gosh, where are we now? June. Okay. June. Guessed it, and I guessed wrong.
Well, I think that also speaks to the interest that CEO Space members have in this work. Mm-hmm. Because I hit the ground running.
Yeah, you did.
And, you know, just went through like fire. Mm-hmm. Because the faculty was so impressed with the accuracy of my work, and they've been referring, and you've been referring because you've had your hand analysis, and anyway, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm very blessed.
Can you tell us just like 2 or 3 minutes about how it is that you found CEO Space and how it's benefited your business?
Well, I met Flo Lattery, who's very involved in CEO Space and a club president as well, at another networking event, and she said she saw me across the room and just said she had to meet me, and she made a beeline over there and asked me what I was looking for, and I told her, and she said, you need to talk to Rodney Lindsay and Bernie Dorman. I said, okay. She didn't tell me the rest of it, but I'm like, fine. So I'm open-minded, and the rest is history. So, and Flo's become a very, very good friend as well, as, you know, several other people in CEO Space, not to mention the resources that I've found and the learning and the clarity about something I was considering, which turns out it wasn't a good idea, so that's cool.
Oh, I haven't heard that story.
And clients, which is great. You know, not everybody has the kind of business where they can get clients from CEO Space, but there's a lot of people there that can benefit from this. You know, entrepreneurs, that's the hardest job in the world. So
would it be safe to say that joining CEO Space was a good decision for you?
Oh, yeah. pretty easy to say that.
Yeah, yeah. Good, good. Okay. So will you tell us a little bit more about your specific, I mean, I want to call it hand analysis, but I'm afraid that's not exactly what you would call it. Is that the term?
Yeah, that's the shortened term. The long term would be scientific hand analysis to help keep it from being confused with palmistry or palm reading. The roots are the same, but there is no predictive element in scientific hand analysis. I can't tell somebody how much money they're going to make, when they're going to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right, how many kids they're going to have, nor do I even want to do that. So what I can tell them, that's a prediction, is that if they take action, if they take action on what I tell them that's in their hands, if they take action on that information, I don't care how good their life is now, it will only get better. So that's a pretty powerful statement, and I don't hesitate a second to say it. But it is scientific. The lines in your hands mimic the neural pathways in your brain. And neurologists are getting involved in this, geneticists, because there can be similarities in families. A lot of therapists and counselors add this to their repertoire because it's very deep and profound, and the patient doesn't have to say a word. It's right there in your hand. In a 1-hour hand analysis, I don't have time to go that deep. That would be reserved for purpose coaching, which I would do after that. But and you've experienced it. The 1 hour is a fire hose of information. So you can't really take any more than that. Not just you, but anybody, really. And it takes a while to digest and incorporate into your life. So it is scientific. Forbes.com wrote an article about me and my work. That's why I call my company Precision Wisdom. It's scientific, so it's extraordinarily accurate. Clients use the words shockingly accurate, jaw-dropping, cathartic. It's fascinating. It's oh so inspiring when you learn what the information is. And I guess that's another question that we can get into, but I need to take a breath, and you need to say something in between before I bore people with my voice.
Yes, and maybe a little sip of water. So this is the big thing here, you guys. It's not palmistry. It's scientific and it's accurate. And my background includes a chunk of time at university studying biology and chemistry and genetics. So when I first met Jayne, of course, I have heard of palmistry. I've never had my palm read, and I've never really wanted to, and it never really, I don't know, it just wasn't something that was part of my world. And of course, it's kind of what came into my mind when I heard there's this hand lady. And yet when she said it mimics the neural pathways in your that the lines on your hand can reflect the neural pathways in your brain, that made complete, utter sense to me, because I know enough about embryonic development to know that, all sorts of things like that are going on, that, you have one cell and then you have 2 and then you have 4 and 8 and all that's going on, and everything grows out of one spot. So it's completely conceivable to me that the lines here could reflect the lines on your cerebellum, absolutely no problem. And I know that enough about neurobiology to know that all our brains are different. So, my brain's not the same as someone else's brain, and if my hand is going to reflect what my brain is, the difference is there, how great to be able to see it without having to take the top off my head.
Well, when you think about it, Sarah, even putting the science aside for the moment, of course, God, Spirit, Source, whatever your beliefs are, would give us a blueprint, a roadmap to our best selves, to our innate life purpose, how we're meant to make a difference in the world, the challenges and blind spots that we need to work on in order to step into and live that purpose with just great joy and fulfillment and success, because that's what we're supposed to have. And that's what we deserve.
I
And
agree.
a whole lot more too. Sorry.
Mhm. No, I think it's fabulous to. I never really thought of it that way as a roadmap, but I sure like the idea, and I'm glad to hear the clarification about palmistry that it's predictive, because I never, as I said, it wasn't something that I'd ever really thought much about, but the idea that it's telling you what's going to happen in 10 years and 20 years, and there's plenty of people that would love to know that kind of stuff, but I've never really believed in fate. I mean, there may be things that we're all destined to do. However, I also feel like we have lots of choices. So perhaps that's why I was never interested in palmistry. And I can certainly say that from having my hand analyzed, that there wasn't a lot of, okay, in 5 years you should do this, and then 10 years expect that at all. There was nothing like that. It was completely different than anything that I'd ever expected, and really, really fun and interesting and exciting.
It's, very inspiring, and you feel, even if you have great confidence, it makes you feel even more confident after you have it done. Because it helps you own and embrace your gifts and your purpose. And when you do that, it helps step you into your power, which is what we're meant to do.
Yes, and we all are interested in learning about ourselves, or maybe we aren't all, but I feel
Not all.
I am anyway, and a lot of us are. And when you take a test or a survey, you're answering questions, and there's always, 5 choices, and there's all this mental activity that's going on. If I pick this one, that's going to mean this, and if you're hungry when you take it, maybe it's different than if you were sleepy when you took it. And there's so much going on there that it always sort of feels like, oh, maybe this isn't really the right answer. And for having somebody to just look at your hand and be able to say things about you, for me, I mean, this was my experience, when you can look at my hand and say all sorts of things about that resonate with me as who I think I am as a human being, what my personality is like, and what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are, without having me fill out a bunch of questions. It's a very different experience, because it's like, okay, it's here. There's something right here.
Yep.
That she's looking at. It's not, she's asked me anything, or she's gone and done research on me on LinkedIn or something. She's just looking at my hand, and yet, okay, this and this and this and this, and oh, okay, that must really truly be me then. In a different way. It's very authentic feeling.
Well, that's cool. I appreciate that feedback. And the thing with tests that you fill out, it's self-administered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how you see yourself. Well, we all know that we see ourselves differently than other people see us. So the self-administered tests, I think that the number that I've read from an expert that talks about this stuff is that if you took it again, 75% of the people would get a different result.
Yes, exactly.
Now, would that result be statistically valid? I don't know. I would imagine in some cases. It may be so small it wouldn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But, still, it's different. And you go through that stress, just like you said, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I like this part of the question, but this other part is not right for me. So then what do you put down?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You put down strongly agree or disagree. It's like,
Yeah, well, and you can't. I can't help but think, okay, I want to be this, so I'm going to pick this answer. And it you're trying to guess the test. You can't help it.
Yeah.
And I think that all those things are interesting and give you good information, but this is a different kind of information because it's so right there. Your hand, not something that you wrote with your hand.
It's all in your hands.
Yes. So, work with people. How do people typically get started with you? Is it? I mean,
a hand analysis is number one. You have to have a hand analysis before I can do any purpose coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's the foundation. And people find me in a variety of ways. CEO space, speaking in front of a group. Some friends have hosted little parties for me with their friends, and then I offer their friends a discount, which I do to CEO space as well.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of people came from the Forbes.com article. Some people just get referred to me by a friend. Flo Lattery has referred me 3 clients.
Mm-hmm.
So, because she had such an inspirational, jaw-dropping experience with
So
her analysis.
is it a kind of a certain type of person that tends to come to you?
That, there's a myriad of ways or of needs. Usually, and this is the way I got involved, people just aren't fulfilled in their work. And that describes 60+% of Americans. They're not happy with their work. They're bored, they're overwhelmed, they're confused, they feel stuck. And they know they're not on purpose. So they need to find out what their purpose is. And it's what you were born to do. It's your innate life purpose, and that comes from your fingerprints. And that includes any fingerprints you might have in the palm of your hand. Some people do, some don't. So some people are looking for their purpose. Some people are trying to make a decision or getting ready to make a big change and want to confirm that they're on the right track. So that is very helpful. Some people know they're on purpose, but aren't achieving the fulfillment and abundance that they want and deserve. And that means that they're not, that they're a little bit stuck in some of the what we call student path, markings of the hand. And that's one of the things that's so empowering about this work, is that for your specific markings, I can tell you what the master path looks like, so you know what to strive for. And I can tell you what the student path looks like, so now you're aware when you're on it, and we always all are. We're human, we go back and forth all the time, myself included, and I teach it. But the key is I see it.
Yes.
And then you can take action and just make a different choice. And that is so empowering, I can't even tell you. So people who aren't happy and want to know their purpose, people who think they've figured it out and are getting ready to make a big change and they want to confirm they're on the right track. People who are on purpose but aren't getting the results they want because they need to take action on their life lesson or their blind spots and challenges. And then there's people who are just curious. And even those people get blown away.
Yeah.
And it changes their lives whether they want it to or not. Because it always changes it good,
So, just listening to you makes me think, okay, I got to go look at mine again because, it's been 2 weeks or something since the last time you and I talked, and all sorts of events have occurred, and, oh, gee, this thing just came up today that I immediately said yes to, and then within a half an hour I started going, well, I'm not sure, and I better go look and see, which one of these might this be about, because there is a feeling happening. So I'm really glad to just be reminded again, because I feel as though there's a lot of information there, and perhaps only for me, but I tend to get information and then kind of go on to the next piece of information and not always really absorb it and make sure that I really learn it, because I'm just I'm just always reading and I'm always going exploring. And are
you in the School of Service?
School of Love.
School of Love. A lot of people are that way, myself included, and that's exactly why I had the presence of mind, thank God, to get coaching after I got my hand read. Because I knew it was right. I knew it was right. Everything they said, I knew it was right. And from that day forward, even though I had not figured out my ideal career yet, I woke up excited and inspired about my life and my future every day. And I have not lost that. And that is what I want to do for other people. I want them to feel that way. And often, it's more than just a 1-hour hand analysis.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they need help.
Well, and when you have a coach that knows you on that kind of level, I would imagine that it would be just amazing, because there isn't any hiding.
Right, and experiencing it myself. It's just amazing, because some people, like I'm a multitasker, it's real hard for me to stay focused. I need a business coach, because I get, overwhelmed and start multitasking and don't even realize I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
So That's the kind of coach I need. And your life purpose, by the way, is not a job description. It's the overarching description. It can be pretty detailed, but still it describes what and to some degree how you're meant to make a difference in the world. And several jobs, many jobs, can fit underneath that purpose because we're meant to have free will to choose what we want to do. So you need to choose what you think is going to bring you the most joy and fulfillment. So it's pretty amazing stuff. I love it.
You know, and I was thinking when you were talking about how over 60% of people are not happy in their work. And, you know, this is something that other people talk about who have other programs and do other things. And I can see that say I have an organization of 100 employees and I'm in human resources and I'm in charge of making sure that people are productive, that I might want to bring in someone like you, but I might also have a fear that they're all going to quit after they find out what you have to say to them. But you know, this is what you just said. It's the life purpose is not a job description, so that it may very well be that people can learn about themselves in a way that they can then use without having to change a whole lot of things, but just, okay, you know, my life purpose is more along these lines, so how do I shift in my job so that I'm actually using that?
Exactly, and that's why I want to take this to organizations. My background is corporate, and I want to work with companies that have high integrity and want to do the right thing and realize that people in the wrong position that are not happy are more of a drain on profits than if they left.
Yeah.
Because their productivity is down, their morale is down, they pull other people down with them, their performance sucks, you know, and they're going to leave anyway, eventually. So, yes, it's possible that somebody will leave, but the idea is to find a place, if possible, within that company to move them to.
Yeah, yeah, fabulous. Really great. So I think we may have already touched on this, but when someone, let's just say they've just done the one analysis, or, you know, we could also talk about coaching clients as well. Either one, what kinds of roadblocks do they run into? I mean, I think, you know, we just said that, at least for me, my roadblock may be my tendency to just move on to the next thing and not really integrate it, what I learned, and really try to, you know, look for examples in my life and pay attention to it for a while versus, so, you know, the shiny fish syndrome is kind of what I think of that as.
Right.
Are there other roadblocks that people run into where they can't
Every possible different kind. You know, there's so many possible lessons and roadblocks. And again, if you're not taking just even baby steps, little bitty baby steps, to you know, work on your life lesson and your challenges and blind spots, then you're not going to get there. But if you do take baby steps, we're rewarded for even little baby steps. And that really makes a difference. It really helps. So there's all kinds of roadblocks, and, you know, it just depends on how your hand presents. I know with you, even though it's a gift marking, you're in your head a lot.
Yep.
So am I. And that confuses my intuition, because it's hard for me to just settle down and shut the mind chatter off and listen to what God's trying to tell me. So, you know, if you could hear your intuition, it would say, stop, learn this, soak it up, go to the park and do something to let it digest. But that's just one thing. There's, you know, a multitude of trip-up points depending on what's in your hands. And it's so powerful to know what those are.
Yes, and then so for someone who really wanted to make sure that they did soak it up and did learn it and did develop strategies for evaluating, you know, something new came up, is this my lesson again, or am I on the student path again? What would you suggest? I mean, I'm assuming at least in part there would be coaching, but would there be other things?
Well, if somebody's hesitant to get coaching, and usually they, nobody's like, yay, a coach.
No, I'm yay.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I just lost my track of thought.
Sorry.
I had the perfect answer for you. Ask me again. Ask me again. It may trigger the
Well, I
neural.
was saying, aside from coaching, if somebody wants tools.
I got it. Thank you. I knew that would trigger it back. In the very least, get an accountability partner. And as a purpose coach, that's one of the roles I play. I'm not a life coach. I'm not an executive coach. Yes, there is overlap with purpose coaching and life coaching. You can't separate the two. But my goal specifically is to help somebody well, first of all, identify, step into, and live their purpose. And that takes planning. That takes a lot of figuring things out. And I have a process that I call the wisdom process. It's 6 steps, and I take people through that process. The first one being the hand analysis.
So when you said accountability partner, I almost dove in and interrupted, but you got the best of me there. An accountability partner that knows about the whole piece of it. Don't forget, Sarah, this is your student path coming up here. I mean, that's it's not just any old accountability partner, but someone who's familiar with this.
Well, that would be much, much better. But so what I said was at the very least.
At the very least, yeah.
An accountability partner.
So get an accountability partner. If you haven't got one already, get one. And I love mine. I have an accountability call every morning at 5:30, and we just spend 5 minutes on the phone talking about.
Uh-oh. Well, I think I'm still on. I don't know if you're still on, Sarah, so I'm going to keep talking. The thing with accountability is to make sure your partner is trustworthy and reliable.
Yes.
So, there you are. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Jane. Yeah, anyway. I don't know what.
Okay. Yeah, you're a little funny.
There's issues.
And you have a good sense of humor. So, yeah.
Well, what I'm doing, if you can.
I mean, it's got to feel right to you. And there's always going to be fear involved. There's always fear involved into identifying, stepping into, and living your purpose. I don't know why. Because it's a big deal, really. Everybody has to make a change. And change is scary, period. But the key is, and I've got to find where I read this. I think it might have been in an Oprah magazine. So anyway, what you have to do is step off the cliff and then trust that your wings will grow on the way down. And they will. They will. If you're investing in yourself and taking steps and holding yourself accountable, they will.
Oh, Jane, I'm here. I promise. I'm trying.
I see you. I can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because I can't make anything work on my end. But as long as you can hear me and see me, then I'll just keep talking. I don't mind. I don't need to see myself. What I'm trying to do right now, if I don't look like I'm paying attention, is I'm trying to post the link so that people can join our Hangout. And I'm just being told that Internet Explorer stopped working. So I may not be able to post it. However,
can you tell me what it is, and I'll put it in the chat?
Oh, it's about 10,000 miles long. But
oh, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I don't even have the chat anymore. I don't have anything anymore.
Oh, my chat went away too.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. I got it.
It's very strange. So what you could,
happens. It happens.
Oh, I know it yeah, and it's because I'm using Internet Explorer, but I couldn't make Mozilla work for me at all tonight.
Why don't you use Chrome? Uh-oh, you froze. You're frozen. Anyway, I think Google Plus works best on Chrome since that's all Google, even though they own everything. Oh well. Worth putting up with that. So let's see, what else can I tell you? A lot of people want to know how I got into this, and I talked a little bit about that. I was in the corporate world, MBA, like that for a while. I didn't want to go where I was being promoted up into, so I left there and was in sales and marketing for a
If you are.
international. There you are, for an international.
There we are.
I did sales and marketing for an international corporate identity firm, and just burnt myself out. Got really sick for 2 years, lost my house, filed bankruptcy. It was a drag. So during that, I started a professional speaking business because I loved making presentations to my clients and to the sales force. So that served me really well for 15 years. But after that amount of time, I got bored. I knew at some level that I was supposed to be helping people in a deeper way. I just knew that. And the only time I really had fun was in small group format, where I could really see their eyes light up and really see them taking in and digesting what I was teaching, which was different topics. So after about 15 years, I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore, but I have no idea what to do. So I kept doing what I was doing. And as my heart pulled away, so did the revenue. But I didn't want to invest in a business coach again at that time because I didn't want to be doing it. I knew I was supposed to be doing something else. So I was stuck. And I just let myself be stuck because I didn't know what to do about it. And then both of my parents died really close together. And it was a real wake-up call. It was like, Jayne, figure it out. So I just stopped marketing my speaking business. All I did was send out emails anyway, and started searching for how do I find my life purpose. I literally was Googling how do I find my life purpose. And I found I found a couple of books that did not help me. I found a coach that did not help me that much. And then after about 3 months, I ran across a teleseminar. Being the guest was who is now one of my teachers. And I was like, scientific hand analysis, I don't need my palm read, same as most people do. But I listened. And the scientific part of it, put my fears and skepticism at ease. And the main claim to fame is that it discovers or confirms your innate life purpose. So I'm like, oh, that's me. Sign me up. I did it, and it's been a whole different world ever since. It's the best thing I've ever done. But like anything else, Sarah, if you don't take action on it,
yeah,
nothing will change. I mean, you can go and spend $10,000 on a big, weekend seminar, and if you don't take action on what you learned, nothing's going to change. So that's the frustrating part for me. If you get into coaching, you will be in action. So, not you, but
anybody. Oh, me too. I mean, I can see it. I don't have any issue with it.
Yeah.
And I love hearing your story because some of this I've never heard before, and I just, that hunger. I think we all have it of, is this really what I was put here for? And of course, that changes throughout our lives as well. So I'm thrilled to see that we have Kyle has joined us. I posted the link. It worked. And even though we've had so much trouble with, at least my end, not being able to see what's going on, so therefore fearing that everything is crashed and burned, Kyle has found his way in. Kyle's been at a couple of our hangouts. So, Kyle, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay, I hear your voice. How are you?
Awesome.
Great.
Have you been watching Jayne and me for a while now?
I took a break for a while. I have my own website now.
No, I know. You told me that. Congratulations.
Yes, I post regularly, and I'm working with James right now actually to get that set up and optimized to max capacity.
Fabulous.
Cool.
That makes sense. So,
Kyle is talking about James McFadden, James and I were doing a hangout, and getting ready for doing this one, actually. And Kyle dived in and joined us live online. That's how we met him. So, Kyle, do you have any questions for Jayne?
Where are you located at?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. I live in Colorado, but it doesn't matter. 90% of my clients I've never met. So if somebody,
okay.
for example, buys a hand analysis, I will mail them a hand printing kit with instructions. They take their prints and either scan them, you know, like at least 300 DPI, and email them back, or snail mail them to me. And then we set up a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for asking that. And Sarah, before we continue, Kyle, hang on one second. I need to kind of correct something that I don't think you meant to say or knew how it came across, but in hand analysis language, you had said that your purpose and what you're meant to do and your mission changes over time. Hand analysis language, it does not.
Yeah.
You were born with it. Your fingerprints are formed in utero at 14 to 16 weeks. Now, gift markings may come in later that I would fold into your purpose statement, but your primary purpose statement, I can read a newborn, and it will never change.
Yes. And I'm glad you did that. And it's not what I meant. What I meant is we change internally our interest in these kinds of things. And I guess what I meant by it is that I think that when I was younger, I was kind of more satisfied with a job not being very interesting because life was not at work, kind of. I don't know if I can explain it. Versus how I feel now, which is I don't want to do anything that's not fun and doesn't feel like it's doing something important and moving me forward. And if the purpose of my life has changed or not, that isn't what I meant. It's just that I was willing to do stuff that bored me, and I'm not willing to anymore.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, thank you. Well, it's good we clarified that.
Yeah, and thank you, because important communication.
No, thank you. All right, Kyle, are you getting ready to ask something?
Yeah, Kyle, go on.
I was gonna share what my website is about. So I chose a niche. I'm learning as I go. A niche is something that you take interest into, and then you blog about that niche. So my niche is self-help, and I take inspiration that I get at work. I'm in the medical field, so I deal with patients every day. I learn from their life lessons, and then I apply that to my own inspiration, I guess, and then I write about it. So I've just started to pick back up. I've put a post out almost every day since I started, but then I took a little break because I got super busy with work and then had no time. I was always sleeping, but I've gotten on my feet again, so I'm slowly building my way up. But James is also helping me with that. So
that's awesome that you have been posting every day. Oh my God, that's on my list.
Oh, that's hard work. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I'm wondering if some of the things that we've been talking about are possible post material for you.
Yeah.
And self investigation, I can't think of the word I want, but not just helping ourselves, but learning about ourselves.
That is another. I want to incorporate that. I go to church now. I didn't used to go to church, but I do go now. And the pastor made a great sermon. I put a post on it, and if you want, you can check it out. I post the link to it in the chat.
Do it.
I have a couple on certain things that I've heard from other people. I just posted a 30 minutes ago on changing lives while at work. I thought it was kind of cool to write. So
awesome.
Even though it's only little short snippets of what I experienced at work, but I think it's enough to get the point across, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, fabulous. If you, yeah, oh, you've got it. Okay, summarydaily.com. Yeah, good. So now it's in the notes, so anybody else that sees this can also check it out. So that's
Okay.
fabulous. So, is there any like little teeny thing that Jayne, you could tell Kyle about if he sees anything on his own hand, or is it too complicated and too hard, and you have to have the perfect lighting and all the other things?
Well, you do have to have good lighting. It's just there's so many things. What would I
Mhm.
pick? And actually, I was going to ask you, Kyle, if you wanted to put your hand up like this with the fingers just slightly bent in front of the camera, and it's completely up to you. I might be able to see a couple things that I could share with you.
That's the thing. I just got a brand new computer, and the computer does not have a camera in it.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
Yes.
That's a good excuse, Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to connect you guys later then.
Do you have a website, by the way?
Yes, it's posted, precisionwisdom.com.
Okay.
We lost all the notes, so here.
Oh, we did? Oh, they're still in mine.
Well, I lost all the notes, and because I'm the moderator, so I'll just write it down again. precisionwisdom.com.
And it's still being worked on, but and I have a new logo that I'll be putting up within a week, which I'm kind of excited about.
Good.
Did you see which one won, Sarah?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, you're supposed to get an email, and I'm changing that one, but it's going to be a magnifying glass with a diamond inside that has a sparkle on it, and the handle of the magnifying glass cuts down in between the two words precision wisdom.
Oh, cool.
And then I've shortened my tagline from that great big long mouthful to clarify your purpose, love your life, exclamation point.
Good.
So,
I like it.
Kyle, if you're in the medical industry, did you hear me say that neurologists are getting involved in this?
Yes, and I'd also like to bring up I also got to experience acupuncture for the first time in what I do, so that was a really cool thing to see. There's two different types of acupuncture, if you didn't know. They have auricular acupuncture and they have full body acupuncture. Auricular acupuncture is acupuncture in the ear, and full body is self-explanatory. It's
full body. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I mean, acupuncture can be so helpful.
Yes.
You know, I use it on the horse sometimes.
I don't think it works for me, but that's just me. It works for most people that I've seen. So.
You've tried it once, and you're making that decision already?
Yes, I probably won't ever try it again.
All right. You may be missing out because, you know, it's like anything else even if you take antibiotics, you need to take them over a period of time. So the result of acupuncture builds. I'm not an acupuncturist, so I don't care. I just need people to give up from a powerful modality. Anyway.
So we're getting close to the end of our time together, and I just want to give Jayne one more question, which is basically, you know, if someone wants to get started with you, what's the first thing they should do?
They can either call me. By the way, if you're CEO Space, I think I said you get a discount. So
we're not going to put your phone number out because we're live, and I don't think you want your phone number going out to the entire universe.
It's already up on my screen, so.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well. But anyway, you can go to my website and email me from that, or Jayne. No, I don't want to give that out either, do I? My email address. I mean, the best thing to do is go to my website and opt in, because then you get some free videos. I just filmed 6 videos over the weekend of free things, free information of what to look for in your hands, different gift markings. They're just 2 or 3 minutes each. And so if you opt in, then you'll get those. And if somebody's like, oh man, I need one now, then just go to Work with Jayne, drop down menu, hand analysis, go to that, drop to the bottom, hit Get Started Now.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, is there any other thing that I have left out, Jayne, that you would like to just quickly add in? I'm going to be wrapping up in a few minutes, but I want to make sure there's nothing that I've forgotten to ask you that you wanted to make sure you had a chance to tell people.
You know, nothing comes to mind right now other than to reinforce how I've learned, and I think most people know, that when you invest in yourself, things start changing for the good. I start a new coaching client tomorrow. We haven't even started yet. He emailed me today and said, oh my God, even just since I paid for it, things have been changing. And I'm like, that is the way the universe works. You step up,
Yes.
you invest in yourself, and you're going to start seeing changes before we even start talking. So that is really cool.
Good. Yes, and I think you're dead on there. So thank you so much. So to bring it back in, I would just like to remind those of you that are watching that are members of CEO Space West that we have 2 meetings coming up. Where's my card? So Monday we are going to be meeting at the Swill Coffee and Wine in Reno, and that's on Lakeside Drive.
Sarah, give the date in case somebody sees
Monday, June 16th at 4 o'clock.
Great.
2014. That's right, because we're going to be watching these forever. And then June 18th, Wednesday, 5:30, we'll be meeting at Zano's in Truckee. So welcome. Please bring as many friends as you can, because we are getting really close to the conference. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks, and we sure hate for people to miss it that need to be there. And the only way they're going to find out about it is if we invite them, and they can learn a lot at a meeting about how valuable CEO Space is. We're really happy to have lots of time on video to talk about it as well, and I think that you've probably all gotten a great sense of the kinds of people that benefit from CEO Space, because Jayne not only has a fabulous business, but her business is done better because of CEO Space, and of course I wouldn't have even met her if it wasn't for CEO Space. So you can also see the kinds of people that will be there are interesting, fun, smart, doing all sorts of different kinds of things. And if you've got a friend or a co-worker, business partner, someone that could benefit from that, please make sure you bring them to our meeting. The other thing that I would like to celebrate is, I don't know if you guys know, but the grads and club presidents, I'm assuming the club presidents know, the grads might not, that the schedule is out. So you can see what classes are going to be offered coming up in 2 weeks. And we're going to have, I don't know if this is going to show. Yes, it is. This lady back again, Sharon Lecter. This is a book that she worked on that I think you may have heard of, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is another book that she's worked on that I think you may have heard of, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill's new book. Even though he's gone, this book has been waiting for years and years to be published, and you should check it out if you haven't. And we have a new video from CEO Space featuring Sharon Lecter, because she was also at our forum in March. She's really fun and interesting, and it's really great to hear her speak. So if you want to meet her, you need to get to CEO Space in a couple weeks. And then lastly, I'm going to read a little bit out of this. It's just a quote, but I got to wear glasses because I got to wear them. And this is from Outwitting the Devil. And it just says, "You may not be able to control other people. In fact, as we all know, you can't control anyone at all. But you can control how you react to them and their actions. This is an easy thing to say, but much more difficult to do. We tend to want to change other people when we can truly only change ourselves and how we react to others." So that falls right in line with what Jayne was saying earlier. Investing in yourself is really the only thing you can do. The only thing you can control is how you think and how you behave. So remember that, because we all want bigger lives, and we can't expect anyone else to do anything about it but our own selves. We're the ones that are in charge of our lives. So I want to finish up by saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jayne. I know you weren't feeling good, and you did great. I love the way you step up when I vanish, the way I feel like I do, and just keep talking, and it was great. I really, really appreciate it.
No worries. I had fun, Sarah. Thank you for inviting me.
Good. And for all the rest of you, I just want to remind you We are here for you. I am here. CEO Space Club West is here for you. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, and I want to remind you that no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're working on, wherever you are in your whole journey, you are perfect. So don't forget. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks very much. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. So the broadcast is